Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to another edition of Friday Fact, Fiction, and Fuzzy. It is a Friday. We're here on the Edmonton, Illinois YouTube channel. My colleagues here in Illinois are with us, Kevin Gallman and our Regional Vice President, Tom Bukowski. And we are thrilled to have Ms. Antionette Johnson as the Director of Curriculum for East St. Louis District 189 joining us here today. Before we get going here, just a quick, huge thank you to Antionette for bailing Kevin and I out and agreeing to be with us on very short notice. So Antionette, thank you very much. How are you today?
I am well. It's a pleasure, Jason. I'm always willing to help everyone, and I'm just trying to stay warm like everyone else that's in our area. And also just excited. Our students will be coming back the second week of March, those that choose to. And so we're just excited about seeing our kids, their faces, just the interaction. So that's probably been our highlight, just planning for everything.
Exciting times. That's great. So what's a fact, Antionette, that you can share with us today that just about something that's going on right now? What's a good fact?
Okay. A good fact for our district is that our district has been, just like some other ones, resilient. Just thinking about when all of this took place, in March, our district made sure, from the superintendent to cabinet, we were probably one of the first districts to get out our remote learning plan. We were fortunate to already be 1-1. So we just made sure that all students received their Chromebooks and were able to take them home. You had our instructional facilitators that were working on the curriculum. And then the teachers, because, you had some teachers that were technology savvy and then some that weren't. And so just watching them persevere through the challenges, of receiving that professional development and, just making sure that they were on the cutting edge with the technology and the Google and the Zoom meets, and even with our students, because it's been a big transition for them too, because we know relationships are important. And it's a little challenging to have those relationships when you're on Zoom or remote, even though some people do online dating. But of course, it's just a little different for students. And so, when I was just thinking about our district and, just thinking about what is one word that would characterize, what we've all been doing, I just really love the resilience that we have been seeing, from the district office to the building level. From teachers and admin, taking kids food, they're having a little contest, and so, if it's an AR quiz, and there's a contest that's going on, even with Edmonton, how many trophies, you're making sure that they're getting pizza or donuts that's being delivered to their homes. Our social workers are checking in with students, and their well-being, because we know that social emotional is just as important as academics. And so just the resilience, like I said, that has just been taking place. We've seen some creative, out of the box things, that have been taking place just to make sure that those connections, were staying there. So I'm just very proud of our district. When this challenge arose, we stood up, and tackled it and just have been resilient. We persevered, and people have worked late hours, trying to get PD, trying to figure out how to do this. And so, I know as a nation, a lot of teachers have probably done that, but in District 189, I'm able to experience that resilience.
A lot of great stuff there. A lot of great, you mentioned the word resilience. And I think as a company, we're taking that idea of persistence through resilience and the idea of really moving forward through this time. And it's great to see what you've done there. Let's kind of take it the other way. What's a fiction? What's something that hasn't been true during this time?
Something that's fiction that hasn't been true is that remote learning is boring. I think when you think about distance learning, remote learning, even when I was in college, I didn't really like it. But I don't remember our teachers ever really being engaging. And so there's a fiction out there that, remote learning, distance learning is boring. And I have seen the opposite. I've seen the elementary teachers and the kids that are dancing, so, they're doing PE online, they're doing different dances and movements or mindfulness, just keeping the kids, mindful as to the actions and decisions that they're taking. We've seen all kind of programs, just to help with that level of engagement, from virtual tours. Recently, I thought this was really cool. We had partnered with the Holocaust Museum. And so we actually did a virtual tour there, but then we had some guest speakers to come in that had actually lived through that. And they were able to talk to the students and just give some real life, narratives as to, their feelings about it. So teachers, and I kind of talked about this a little bit before, just thinking outside the box, because you are confined to this screen. So it's like, okay, what can I do to really engage kids? And so, I do believe that it's a myth, that distance learning, it can be fun, it doesn't have to be boring. And we're seeing it, taking place even with the games, different games. I know we just did a session with Bill. And, we're talking about the group session, where the kids are challenging each other and going back and forth, because we know kids like a challenge. And so teachers are just making sure that despite, this remote learning, this pandemic, they're keeping the lessons engaged, even from the singing, having different, even they're having like different little parties, dance parties. I mean, all kind of things, just to keep the kids, connected, and at least there's some type of social interaction, that's taking place, since they're not able to see their friends, and like I said, even with the academics, in the various videos, the virtual tours, I've seen, just the science simulations, kids are doing virtual experiments online, and so just a whole nother world. And something that we always talk about in our district, this is our new norm. Like when we go back, there are some things that we were doing that we want to continue. We don't want to go back to the norm. We want to make sure that we're incorporating technology and some of this outside the box thinking that teachers have had to do to make sure that that creativity just continues throughout the school year. So.
Appreciate all that info, Antionette. Finally, what is a fuzzy that you've observed, witnessed, experienced that we can go two ways with this, either kind of validates your why, or that's still undetermined or a gray area? I'll let you decide which way you go.
Okay, so a fuzzy, something that has made me warm inside and just, validates what we've been doing with teachers, with students. It's more so with the SEL component. We all know that our teachers are the foot soldiers, and there's been a lot, like I talked about the resilience and the persevering. And recently, our social workers, they have this Wellness Wednesday that they have every Wednesday, and it's basically a safe place for teachers to be vulnerable, to talk about what are their concerns, what are their issues without being judged, whatever it is that they want to discuss, if it's personal, if it's professional. The social workers in our district have provided this safe place for teachers, which I think is valid, and it's very important, because we all know if you have some things that are going on with you in your personal, it's going to spill out into the classroom, because sometimes it's hard to differentiate between the two. And so I attended one of the sessions, and I mean, it made me feel warm and fuzzy, because I was just like, this is great, because at the district level with the curriculum team, we're providing all the PD, but it's like, okay, who's handling that emotional part, with the teachers? And so when I attended one of those sessions, I just thought it was wonderful. And it actually wasn't just teachers, I even saw, people from different offices, even in the district office. And so it was just really nice to see people coming together, and just sharing, gleaning from each other, and just talking about, how to grow as a district, and making sure that they were, just renewing themselves, taking care of that self-care. Because, you know, a lot of times we talk about self-care, we try to figure out, you know, how to do it, you know, and so I just thought that Wellness Wednesday was such a wonderful idea, you know, for teachers to be able to, you know, just release, let go, you know, and build each other, you know. You know, I think there's this little saying about um, something about spending, and I think it's a book. There's some kind of book that talks about the amount that you spend versus get, or it was something like that. And so we want to make sure that we are giving to our teachers, you know, as much as they're spending, and giving to the students, that we are replenishing, you know, and that's also emotionally that has to take place. And so that's our warm and fuzzy, just those Wellness Wednesdays that are taking place.
Love it. One of the benefits of this platform that provides educators, administrators, is sharing ideas. And that's the first time I've heard of that version of the Wellness Wednesday. So I know people are going to take that in and probably incorporate it into their own setting. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking care of each other so that everybody else can take care of the little ones. That's really remarkable, Antionette. Very exciting, and something that's absolutely critical during these certainly unique times. So she is Antionette Johnson. She is the Director of Curriculum in East St. Louis District 189. We're so proud to call them a partner at Edmentum, and we're so thankful that she was able to join us here this week. If you haven't already, please follow us, subscribe to the Edmentum, Illinois YouTube channel, where you can see more segments like this every week. And can, as Tom was saying, continue to get ideas from one another as we continue on through this school year. Antionette, thank you again for being with us today. Be well and stay well.